guys, what's going on? I'm Shubhendra Vyas, and if it's your first time here and you want to learn data science in Python from scratch, please click on the subscribe button. Today we are going to explore two very interesting concepts in Python list, which are slicing and sorting. Let's start with list slicing. To understand list slicing, I'm defining a new list by the name of languages, and it contains 6 string elements. Once I execute this cell block, this is how languages list looks like to my Python interpreter. Now, an important thing to remember here is Python is a zero-based indexing language. So that's why the counting in Python starts from 0. So if I want to access the first element of my list, all I have to do is pass the index location within this square brackets. If I execute this, I will be getting the first element of my languages list. To understand list slicing, all we have to do is understand these 3 variables I, j and k within this square brackets. So let's understand I first. I is the start index, the default value for I is 0, j is the end index, and k here is the step variable. Alright, so now we know what I, j, k are. Let's say we don't want to pass any values for I, j, k within the square brackets. So first I will write my list names, and within the square brackets I'm not passing anything, I'm just passing the 2 colon symbols. If I execute this cell block, what I'm getting is my Python languages list output, right? So if you don't mention anything, it will give you the whole list in the output. Now let's try to play with the different variation of this syntax. So next what I'm doing is I'm mentioning the start and end index within the square brackets. So the start index is 0 and the end index is 3. Now one important thing to remember here is the end index is always excluded from my result. What I mean by excluded, if you want to print this languages 0 to 3, it will simply print the element only up to the 2 index location, which is R. To make it clear, let's go to our diagram. So if I'm giving 0 to 3 and saying 3 is excluded, so this will be excluded from your output. And as we can see, we are only getting Python, Java and R in the output. So remember this, the end index is always excluded from your list output. The next variation for this syntax is I'm omitting my start index now. So whenever you are not giving a start index, by default it will be considered as 0. So when I execute this, I'm again going to get the same output starting with 0 element. Next, I'm not mentioning my end index, and I'm changing my start index to 3. So this time I will get my all the elements starting from the element 3. So if I go to my diagram, the first element will be C for me now, and it will be printing up to the end of my list. So if I execute this cell, I will be getting C, C++, and the last element of my list, which is HTML. Now let's omit my start and end variables both, and this time I'm mentioning my step variable as 2. If I execute this, I will be getting the alternate elements of my list. So I'm skipping the alternate elements. So first Python will come, and we are excluding Java and C and HTML from our output. So if you want to get the alternate elements in output, all you have to do is give the step element as 2. One interesting thing we can do is what happens if I give my step variable value as -1. Let's execute and see the output. What is happening here is I'm getting the list output in reverse order. So if I go back and check my list, the HTML is the last element, and if I check the output of colon -1, I'm getting HTML as the first element. So what this -1 does, it gives you the reverse of your list. There is one more way to get the reverse of your list is by using the inbuilt reversed method. Reverse method take the name of your list as an input, and it will give you in the output a reverse list of your original list, right? Why I'm doing a list explicit conversion here, because reversed object gives you an iterator in Python. To convert that iterator to list, I'm using the list method. Now don't worry about what an iterator in Python, I'm going to explain that in my future video. Alright guys, that's all about the list slicing. Next we want to understand what is list sorting. To sort a list in Python, you have 2 methods available to you. The first one is sort, and the next one is sorting. The difference between sort and sorting is sort actually modifies your original list, whereas sorting is not going to modify your original list. It's just going to show you that how your list is going to look like once you sort it. So let's see both of these methods in action. For understanding the sort part, I am defining a new list friends, and this is how my friends list as of now looks like. So if I call the sort method on my friends list, it is going to sort my list in the alphabetical order from A to Z. So I have Chandler at the first position, then Joey, Monica, Phoebe, Rachel, and Ross. Now two of these elements both are getting started with R, so the priority is given to the second character here. So A of course comes before O, that's why you can see Rachel is coming before Ross. Now whenever we use some methods, there are always some argument or default argument present for that method. To check what are the default argument for sort method, all you have to do is just have your cursor between these brackets and press Shift Tab on your keyboard. Once you press Shift Tab, you will get this dialog box. I will click on this so that I can see it more clearly. Now sort method has two arguments and the default value for those two arguments are none and false. I'm going to show you how we can change the value of this argument to true and how this affects the output of sort method. So next I'm changing or passing this reverse argument to my sort method and overriding the default value of false to true. If I do this, it is gonna sort my list in reverse order, that means from Z to A. So Ross has come at the first position now and Chandler has gone to the last position. Now, as we know that sort method modifies our original list, so this is how my list was looking earlier, like Ross is at the first position and then Phoebe. If I again check it, it's gonna change it, right? So this sort actually changed the original list, whereas the sorting method is not gonna change your original list. Alright, let's have a look at the sorted method. So again, this is how my list looks like. If I sort this list by using sorted method and passing friends as argument, this is how it looks like. Now if you want to cross verify that whether sorted method modifies your original list or not, all you can do is go and execute your list again. So it's not changing, right? Here it's A to Z, whereas your original list as of now is sorted from Z to A. So sorted method hence does not modify your original list. Now this is useful when you don't want to change your original list. You just want to have a look at how my sorted list looks like. So always use sort method. It has some advantages like it's not going to modify the original list. Sorted method also have the same argument like reverse and key. So if I give reverse equal to true here, it's gonna print my list in the reverse order of Z to A. Alright guys, that's all in today's session. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Happy learning.